Hello everyone, welcome to Live with Lutfur episode 2. সো আমাদের লাইভের শুরুতেই আমি শ্রদ্ধা ভরে স্মরণ করছি, আপনারা সবাই জানেন আজকে ২৬শে মার্চ। আমি শ্রদ্ধা ভরে স্মরণ করছি সেই বীর শহীদদের, যাদের রক্তের বিনিময়ে আমরা একটি স্বাধীন মানচিত্র পেয়েছি। আমরা পেয়েছি একটি সোনার বাংলাদেশ। আ আমরা জানেন আজকে আমরা ১ম এই বলে রাখছি for your kind information, our short will be very live for today. Very short. We try to, we'll come with the longer, the live hour in next episode, inshallah. So, you guys know, like our today's topic is the uh, eligible occupation code for skilled worker coming to the UK. But before we start our regular, the topic, there's a few important update. I'll ask to Mr. Luftu to put his comments on that, because so many people are asking, they're worried about some, the updates from the Home Office. So let's clear this, the confusion first. Then we start from our regular topic. Is that all right, Mr. Luftu?
Hi. Thank you, Mr. Iftikhar. Thank you. As you started the first, we celebrate our 26th of March. Independence Day of our country, Bangladesh. It's a very important day, and every year when it comes, it's personal to me because my father was a freedom fighter, and he left his school life. Even at that time, he was not married. He was an adult, young age, and he left his school for fight for the country. And that's made me wonder that whether we could have done the same things for country the way they did for us, leaving their whole life behind a young age, and they fought for the country. And because of them, actually, we are independence. And so that's why I remember everybody who dead or alive, and who are passed away, like my father. For them, I pray for their departed soul, for Jannatul Firdaus, and who are alive, still alive, the lucky. And for them, we are Bangladeshi, and we feel proud for this. So I salute everyone for this. In terms of obviously, you said the latest update. Yeah, there are lots of update since last program, and any update comes up, we actually try to put on our work permit cloud page. As you've seen, last week we have done one which is about student, whether they need a course completion letter or what is called a certificate that they have done from the university, and we have done. And there are lots of people ask me so many questions. So I said, as far as guidance, as far as eligibility concerned, it's clear. Student can switch to the skilled worker, but obviously depends on the caseworker. Sometimes they might ask these sort of things, and based on the circumstance, based on the situation, it can be replied. But as far as law is concerned, current law, still student can switch. So this was we done during the from previous episode to this episode. There was a new things comes up. Yesterday another one comes up, and I got so many calls again. About Bangladesh, whether Bangladesh is a red list country or not. And I've got a screenshot people sent me through WhatsApp that this is Bangladesh red list and those sort of things. And it was updated in the Home Office site on 23rd of March, and that's why people are concerned. But actually, people.
Screenshot you are talking about, like.
Yes, this screenshot that Bangladesh is a red list country. People send it, and also they're concerned, but nobody actually read the whole things. It is about a recruitment agency code of conduct for code of practice for recruitment agency. It's nothing to do with the care worker, nothing to do with this one. And it was same things was last year. So last year when they published, everybody was concerned that Bangladesh is banned, Bangladesh is a red list country. But in the whole published guidance, if you read, it said it's a red list country for recruitment agency, not for the employer. If the employer directly wants to employ anyone, there is no ban for any country. So only some country who are listed, those country international recruitment agency who are registered in the UK by the government or by the NHS or some other, they could not go to those country and actively recruit staff. That's why it's been called banned. It's banned because Bangladesh and some poor country, the ratio of doctor and patient, ratio of nurse and patient, ratio of health quality patient is very high. That's why they don't want to bring the staff to the UK so that Bangladesh doesn't get the service. That's why they deliberately put those countries in the red list. However, if anybody want to come directly, if anybody got an advertisement from the employer side, and if they apply to the employer, then they can come. And that's why they came. Lots of people came last year, regardless Bangladesh was released. The same thing was last year. Same code of practice was last year. But
Yeah, life is disparate. So that Mr. Lutfur was trying to say that there is no such, the issues Bangladesh are red listed. The can the skilled worker cannot come to the UK from Bangladesh. It's not true that way. We need to always we need to read the whole story. So I think it's a network issue
yeah,
from
yeah. Is it my side or your side? Network issue.
your side is a
No.
shortage. So I,
Okay,
I
now
I
now
was
we are back.
I was the telling to our viewers like this is very easy. We never read the whole story and we get panic when we read the only the the title. And some people are using this information to misleading our the people. So it's very good to hear this news from genuine source from the right person. So thank you so much for your kind information. Can you say that one in Bangla just for 2 3 line easily
Yeah.
so
uh,
audience can understand?
এই যে একটা কোয়েশ্চনও তো আছে, বাংলাদেশ আর ব্যান ফর টায়ার টু ভিসা। এগেইন দিস ইজ বাংলাদেশ ইজ নট ব্যান্ড। অ্যান্ড আসলে বাংলাদেশের রেড লিস্ট যে কান্ট্রিটা বলা হচ্ছে এইটা ফর দ্য ইন্টারন্যাশনাল রিক্রুটমেন্ট এজেন্সি, দে কুড নট গো ডাইরেক্টলি টু বাংলাদেশ অ্যান্ড রিক্রুট লাইক দ্য ইউনিভার্সিটি, দে ক্যান গো অ্যান্ড রিক্রুট। Got a job directly through employer, through employer.
Yes, there is a network issue. No worry, it will be sorted very soon. We'll go again. So, মিস্টার লুফতু যেটা আমি আবার বাংলায় বলি যে আসলে কোনো এজেন্সি সরাসরি বাংলাদেশে গিয়ে স্কিল ওয়ার্কার আনতে পারবে না। কিন্তু কোনো একজন এমপ্লয়ার যার ওয়ার্ক পারমিট লাইসেন্স আছে, তিনি বাংলাদেশ থেকে স্কিল ওয়ার্কার খুব সহজে আনতে পারবেন।
আচ্ছা, কোয়েশ্চন আছে, কোয়েশ্চন আনসার কি আমরা পরে দিব?
হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ, কোয়েশ্চেন আনসার গুলো পড়ে দিব। আমি জাস্ট অডিয়েন্সকে দেখানোর জন্য দেখতেছি যে আপনার কোয়েশ্চেন গুলো আমরা পাচ্ছি। আমরা এগুলো পরে আনসার দিব। আমরা
Okay, thank you.
পরবর্তীতে আমরা
Ahmed is one chicken heart. I know he's my client, and he asked some question. I'll reply
okay,
later
we
on.
will reply this question later. Now we are going to my next questions.
হ্যাঁ, আমি বাংলাদেশে যেটা বলতেছি যে আপনারা এটা নিয়ে কেউ বিভ্রান্ত হবেন না। বাংলাদেশ রেড লিস্টে যদিও আছে সেটা হলো ফর রিক্রুটমেন্ট এজেন্সির জন্য, নট ফর ডাইরেক্টলি। ইফ ইউ সোর্স সাম এমপ্লয়ার ডাইরেক্টলি এবং এমপ্লয়ার দিয়ে আপনাকে ডাইরেক্টলি আনতে চায়, যেভাবে লাস্ট হোল ইয়ারে আসছেন যত সবাই, সিস্টেমটাই আছে, সেটা বন্ধ হয়নি। বন্ধ যেটা হলো সেটা আগেও ছিল যে রিক্রুটমেন্ট এজেন্সিরা আনতে পারবে না গিয়ে, বাট এমপ্লয়ার আনতে পারবে, যেটা আপনারা যেভাবে আসতেছেন।
Okay. My second question is very short and simple. I'm requesting to the answer this. Care visa shortage occupation list off from Bangladesh or not? And what is the update?
No, it is not. It is not. It's still on. It's exactly the same. It's not closed. It's open. I'm telling you, it's open. It's don't be, I mean, misguided by some guidance which comes up and something. It's open as long as if the employer, if you got the job directly through employer, not through recruitment agency, it's open. You can come. Employer can issue a COS for you, and they can send it to you, and you can use this COS and you can come. So this is not closed. It's open.
Okay. My second question is, that there's no new door open for the overseas employer. You already share some video in your page and social media, like with construction worker. So when the construction company home office announced the shortage occupation list, and what is the update about these new occupations?
Yeah. last Thursday, not week before last Thursday, Chancellor, the country's this country's Chancellor, he stand up on the Parliament, and when he announced his budget, he he opened up some regulation, some code, because of his growth plan, because he thinks this country's industry after post Brexit is suffering for staff shortage, such as care sector. They opened up a shortage occupation list. They added as a shortage occupation list. Same thing they have done for the construction industry. What they have done, because remember the construction industry, these countries make up of lots of European people. They used to come easily work, like Polish people and other people. They used to come easily using the Brexit, using the European rule, and they used to come very quickly. Post Brexit is they are not coming. So government made it as a, obviously, as we'll discuss today, eligible occupation code. Builder and lots of position was already under eligible occupation code. They could have come easily even today. But what government had done, government added some position, five occupation on the shortage occupation list, so that it can be fast tracked. One, the fewer fees, and also home office and other people officer will think that this is a shortage occupation. So normally these are, like, for example, which is not shortage occupation, such as if I say a restaurant chef at the moment is not a shortage occupation. Okay, if they want to come to the UK from overseas, they have to pay higher fees, which is 600 something. If it's a shortage occupation,
Okay, there's again network issues from Mr. Lutfur side. Okay, we'll get back. So Mr. Lutfur was trying to say there's so many new, uh, eligible work permit are opening. So it's like plumber, construction worker, and so many other things. So we'll ask the next question,
yeah,
like construction.
yes. Yeah, so if it's a shortage occupation, anti-clearance officer and the home office consider is on fast track, and is like favorably, because they know it is a shortage occupation, as the lots of care sector people got the visa because it was a shortage occupation carer. So what five position government added and requested to add, this is recommended by migration advisory committee. As everybody knows, migration advisory committee reports something which government either accept or reject. So migration advisory committee uh, recommended five positions which should be coming to effect in April, which is the bricklayer, is come under shortage occupation, plasterer, carpenter, roofers is coming under shortage occupation. And another most important position they also added, which is, they said, a position elsewhere not elsewhere classified. That's why employer can consider it a shortage, and they can put this code. So those sort of things is there. So this is a very encouraging things. So if anybody out there back home in Bangladesh listen, please learn something about the skill of bricklaying, plastering, plumbing, and do the IELTS. Because that doesn't mean that, okay, I'm a bricklayer, I don't need IELTS. No, this is a mandatory English language requirement. All the tier skill worker routes, point-based system, all the point remain same. Only those position government added as a shortage occupation. So it would be considered favorably with less fee, but you have to meet other requirement to come to the UK.
Okay. So my next question is, you already answer, but that there's so many, the new audiences came. So can you answer this again very short? Like, can students switch from the within UK until they need any proof NOC or course complication letter? And if is there any issues? Very
You
short.
know, according to the guidance, I repeat again, according to the current guidance, Home Office guidance, there is no requirement his work permit. He found an employer, he just switches to work permit. Then home office might think, okay, he just came as a student, now he's trying to switch immediately. So in that case, they can ask further question, why you are switching and why you came as a student. So can you give a confirmation from the university? That sort of thing they could ask. But again, this is called suitability criteria. They could ask this question, but then you can reply. If you found a job, if you say, yes, I came, but my skill set, I applied as soon as I apply some companies for part-time job, whatever, but my skill set, the company offered me full-time job, so there is no harm, I could change. So the law is it can be changed, simple as that. But
Oh,
university, based on the circumstances, home office might ask some question, and if they ask, it can be replied as well, as long as if as long as you meet the requirement. So as long as you are a student, you can switch. This is my answer.
okay, there is another issues, when people get any email from the home office, maybe they don't read it properly and they get panicked. So another one is the issues I want to the clear out. This week, the sponsorship license holder received one email from the home office, an update email, and they are a little bit very confused about it. Can you please explain like what is the matter?
What update mean?
They got an update email from the home
Yeah,
office.
that your case is complex, we can't make a decision, things like this. Yeah, it,
Yeah.
it happens, it happens. You know why it happens? Because sometimes they have to check with the university that whether it been curtailed or not. Because some student, or most of the time it comes to us, they got a letter from the university that we reported to the home office and something like this. So sometimes they sort of, that's why they write to the university, and so that's why they said it's complex, we need to check. But it's nothing to worry, as long as I said, as long as you meet the requirement, and as long as you applied. Say for example, a classic scenario, lots of students sought asylum. When they came, they sought asylum, but maybe some people sought asylum before the student visa expired, some people sought asylum after the student visa expired. So if somebody sought asylum after the student visa expired, and if they apply to switch to the work permit, they cannot. So they have to check, the home office have to check what is the position of this person, whether he has got a right to work, still valid right to work in the UK. If they have a still valid right to work in the UK, he can switch. So don't get panicked. This is a common, if they could not make a decision straight away, they will say it would take time, because it's standard time pass is their practice. They will write a letter like.
Okay. So before we start our live, I tell that our this short will be this live will be very short. We try to the longer live session in the next our next episode.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, so this is, I mean, don't get panicked. I've got so many cases, took 8 months, 9 months to get a decision. So it doesn't matter if you get this email that, oh yeah, I might not get the visa. It is not the situation. As long as you got a right to work in the UK, when you made an application, you can check. And if the work permit skill worker was issued during this time, then you'll get the visa. Regardless of, some caseworker might query, and then it sometimes it takes time. But don't get frustrated or worried that your case might be refused. It's not like this. It happens. I mean, it takes time sometime.
ওকে, সম্মানিত দর্শক, আপনারা যারা আমাদের লাইভ দেখছেন, আপনারা আমরা লাইভের ১ম এই আমরা বলেছি যে আমাদের আজকের এই লাইভটা আমরা একটু শর্ট করব। ইনশাআল্লাহ পরবর্তী আমাদের লাইভ এপিসোড 3 তে আমরা একটু লম্বা সময় নিয়ে এবং আমরা আরো অনেক কোয়েশ্চেন আনসার দিয়ে আসব। আমরা ইতিমধ্যে অনেকগুলো আমরা প্রশ্নের আনসার আমরা অনেকগুলো আপনার প্রশ্ন পাচ্ছি। আমরা চেষ্টা করব সবগুলো আনসার দিতে। যদি আমরা না পারি, আমরা পরবর্তীতে সেশনে আমরা এগুলো সবগুলো আনসার দিব। আমরা ইতিমধ্যে গত সেশনের আমরা কিছু কোয়েশ্চেন আমরা ছিল যেগুলো আমরা ইতিমধ্যে আমরা আনসার করে ফেলেছি। আমরা আরো ২-১ টা লাস্ট সেশনের কোয়েশ্চেন আছে। আমরা আমরা কি সেগুলা কোয়েশ্চেন করব? ২-১ টা ভেরি ইম্পোর্টেন্ট। আমি বলি
হ্যাঁ
এগুলো
হ্যাঁ,
শেষ
করেন
করব।
করেন।
যে if employer need to bring someone from the overseas, can he start at the same time 4-5 recruiting or from the overseas or one by one? If
uh, if the employer, no, he can do, no, it's no requirement. As I said, employer, if his business requires 4, 5, 10 staff, he can start recruiting. It's not that home office will say, oh, you will do one by one. No, as long as you get the allocation. Because what happened, if you want to bring somebody from overseas, the employer has to ask the home office for the allocation stage first, that I need 5 staff, and they have to give the reason why they need 5 staff and what position they need to bring it and what salary they will provide. And once they get the allocation done, then they can issue COS. So they can do 3 together, 5 together, 10 together, and it's like it's a scalable. Some employer ask me, oh, I've got a takeaway, how many staff I could bring? I've got a restaurant, how many staff I could bring? This is not the things how many staff, is a need basis. If your business needs 10 staff, you can ask for 10 staff. Because imagine you apply for a license, you got the license, maybe your business was at the very time very small business.
Yeah.
One year down the line, maybe your business is going increased. Maybe you brought another branch, second branch, third branch, fourth branch. So you might need a staff. So every time you need a staff. So it's a scalable. It depends on your business demand. If your business demands 10 people and you can justify on your payroll, these 10 people you can ask for. There is no limit. So that's why I said it's not one by one. If your business requires to bring 10 staff, you can bring 10 staff at one go. You
Okay.
get?
Yeah, I got. So my second question is a very common question from everyone. So can I change job under skilled worker visa when I get fast? মানে অনেকে যেটা জানতে চাচ্ছে যে আমি যখন একটা ওয়ার্ক ভিসা আমি পেয়েছি আমি কি এটা সুইচ করতে পারবো বা একটা
Yes,
থেকে
yes,
আরেকটাতে আমি
it's,
সুইচ করতে পারবো?
yeah. Skill worker to skill worker is changeable, and my honest answer is lots of care sector, as I found now, they are not getting their job properly. They are getting less hour, and lots of complaint to me, and lots of they are struggling actually. Lots of carer who already got skill worker to the employer, but employer not giving the extra minimum 39 hours as stipulated in the course. So what would happen with those people? My answer is, please actively look for other employer. Okay, as you have some experience, because what happened, most of the these days, most of mainstream employer, they are not actually trying to bring somebody from overseas. They don't want to take the risk, or they don't want to take any staff here and there. So they normally try to recruit someone who's got little bit experience.
Yeah.
So as most of you got some experience with some care sector, actively look for somewhere where they have a license. Apply through the recruitment agency or through anywhere. And if you find a job, you can work 20 hours to start with, extra additional 20 hours similar job as a carer.
Okay.
And then
Thank you so much,
what happened?
Mr. Lutfur, for your honest answer. Always, আমি আমার দর্শকের বলবো আপনারা আমাদের লাইভটা শেয়ার করবেন এবং এইগুলা রাইট ইনফরমেশন এবং অনেস্ট আনসার গুলো আপনারা মিস্টার লুফতুরের কাছ থেকে পাবেন, আমাদের এই লাইভ থেকে পাবেন। সো প্লিজ শেয়ার আওয়ার লাইভ অ্যান্ড শেয়ার উইথ ইউর ফ্রেন্ডস এন্ড ফ্যামিলিজ টু গেট অ রিয়েল আপডেট ও অথেন্টিক ইনফরমেশন। সো আমরা আমাদের লাইভের একদম শেষ পর্যায়ে চলে আসছি। উই গট সো মেনি কোয়েশ্চেনস ফ্রম
Yeah. Let me answer this question. This is very important. What is it? What I said. So you can apply to another care sector. If you find a job over there, you can work 20 hours while you are with your main employer. And after 20 hours, if you find the employer doesn't have a license or he has a license, you can ask him, look, if you give me a sponsorship, I can come to your company and work full time for you. And in that so the things, first gather your experience, little bit experience, and then go to employer which have a more hour, which can provide you more hour, and they can and you will be safe. And that's why I said gather some experience and apply different places. And if you find a job, better salary, better hour, you can switch. It's easily switchable. It's not like, oh, you have to work with the same employer always. No. And your 5 years counts. Whatever employer, so imagine you're in the 5 years, if you change 5 employer, all the sponsored employer, all 5 years counted towards indefinite leave to remain in the UK. So it doesn't matter how many employer you change. All thing, every time you have to be a sponsored migrant worker to one of the sponsored employer. That's it. So try to change the employer if you are not happy with the current employer or with the hour.
Okay, this is my last questions. For my last question, then we start from the getting the questions from my live session. So does a tier 2 skilled worker visa lead to settlement, and what is the process?
100%. That's the beauty of this skill worker route. Because imagine, even if somebody come as a spouse visa, for example, with a British citizen spouse visa, it takes 5 years to get settle in the UK. Same as skill worker. If you come as a skill worker, after 5 years, you will get indefinite leave to remain in the UK, provided these 5 years you are employed by the employer who are sponsored employer. If you are employed by one sponsored employer, and if you this employer gone and you are working some other employer who are not sponsored, who are not sponsoring you, then you won't get settled. You have to work with your 5 year duration with one of the sponsored employer. And as long as you are sponsored employer, and you are a migrant employee of the sponsored employer, after 5 years you'll get indefinite leave to remain in the UK, and on 6 years you'll get a British citizenship. You can apply.
Okay. So this is the my part is finished. Thank you so much for all the previous questions, and thank you so much for your all the answer. Amra, now we'll go to our audience part. So Ms. Tahmina Akhtar, she wants to know about the skill worker road update. So we already give the all the update now. Please listen the live from the beginning, and you get the all the update. And
Skill worker route, nothing has changed. Even as I said, 5 occupation code has been updated. It's been added to the shortage occupation list recommended for the construction industry. And apart from this, everything as it is same. You can come as like last year, nothing has changed. So you can come to the UK as a skill worker route, or if you are in the UK as a student, you can switch if you find a sponsored employer who has got a sponsor license.
okay, Bobby Manasseh, he says, God, Mr. Istia Khan said, okay, Mr. Ifti, thank you for arranging this information. Okay, his all credit goes to Mr. Lutfur because he always try to get
Thank you,
something
Vinay.
positive about our society and whoever come to UK with the right information at the right time. So, and also, please, all the viewers who are listening our live,
Ahmed, what Ahmed said?
Ahmed said he okay, I'm going to this answer. So before I start this question, I want to tell all my viewers, every day we are uploading so many, the reels, videos to our all the social media about the real updates. So get update from our page. We whatever issue is arising, we try to as fast as possible to give the update about the video update from the Mr. Luftur. So try to get connect with our all the social media. So
and
Ahmed
and,
said,
and most of the subscribe to our YouTube channel, so we'll do most of the things on the YouTube. Now you'll find every day we'll put some information which is, I believe, is important to share. And we'll do something, I mean, and you can hear, and you can ask question before the program as you did, and this is the opportunity I'll be available to answer. Because most of the time, I know from Bangladesh, various country, people call me and I don't pick up phone because some obviously I'm busy with other things. So this is the dedicated time for you to answer any question. So if you have anything, ask a question beforehand, even the program, and we can answer.
okay. Ahmed, brother, this is me, Ahmed from the okay Chicken Hut. One
Chicken
question,
Hut.
please. I have a work full time already as a dependent of his wife. She's a full time student. My question is, I sponsor him as a chef, as he already work as a chef. What is and his wife status after he's get visa on a spouse, a sponsor? Thank in advance. We already very happy and professional service provided by WPC. Okay.
Okay, okay. It's Ahmed Jiganat. Please, I have worker full time already as a dependent of his wife. Full time already as a dependent of his wife. She is full time student. My question is, as I sponsored him as a chef, as you already work as a chef, and what he's in his wife status after he get visa on our sponsor. Thanks in advance. Okay, so full time already as a dependent of his wife. She is full time student. So my question is, maybe the person he's working, he is a dependent of a student. So dependent of a student can switch to the skill worker. Only difference is, dependent of a student has to pass the IELTS, English language requirement. Normally student, when they switch, they don't require to meet the English language requirement again, because they already came to the UK as a student, so they met the requirement. So that's why they don't need to meet the requirement again. But if a dependent want to switch to skill worker route, then they have to meet the English first. Second, when he switched to the skilled worker route dependent, then student become dependent of a skilled worker route. And the student, that time student is free. That time, as a dependent of a skilled worker route, another good advantage is dependent of a skilled worker route can work any place, anywhere he like, any duration. So dependent of a skilled worker has got like a free things. So they can work anywhere, no restriction, no employer restriction, no time restriction, because skilled worker has a restriction to work only through the for the employer or similar job with other place 20 hours. But dependent of a skilled worker, so when this Mr. Ahmed dependent becomes skilled worker and his wife student become a skill dependent of a skilled worker, then student can work anywhere because she will be the dependent of a skilled worker. When you become a dependent of a skilled worker, no restriction at all. You can work anywhere you like.
Okay. There's two new questions from Akram Fahim and Mehdi Hassan Basir. Both questions are same. So if you answer one, I think they will get satisfied. So can you please give us some information about the second job after getting my sponsorship job from a company? For example, if I get job as a customer service manager, what other job I can expect from the shorted occupation list?
Yeah, good question. So what is it? Say if you are a customer service manager in a restaurant, for example, or in a travel industry or somewhere, customer service manager, you can work similar job 20 hours, similar customer service manager 20 hours with another employer. And those employer doesn't require a license, sponsor license. So you can work 20 hours in addition to your main work. Or you can work 20 hours of shortage occupation list. So shortage occupation list every time updated. So now, as we discussed, there's the lots of builder position. 5 occupation is coming under shortage occupation list. If you work as a customer manager, if you work as a bricklayer or the construction industry somewhere 20 hours, you can work. Or if you want to work as a carer in a care sector 20 hours, you can work regardless of your customer service manager, because you are a customer service manager. So 20 hours second job you can work, similar job or shortage occupation. So if you don't find a similar job, it's very difficult to find a similar job, maybe customer service manager, but you might find a shortage occupation job. So shortage occupation job list is, as I said, carer, and new occupation is coming under bricklayer, plasterer, plumber. So you can find a job in the construction industry as well. And those places you can work 20 hours as a second job while you are working customer service manager, your main job.
Okay, thank you. The second question, this is the last question so we are taking because we are about to finish our live. So same kind of question, but
The
I
Mehdi Hassan, the visa, you can also work in a
so his question is my visa describe the conditions. You can also work in the part time in the work time rule. Is it your main job or shorter occupation list? My question is can she or he work care industry for part time?
or shortage of. No, this is the second. It's not a main job. Main job is your main company where you got a sponsor. This is the second job, and you only allowed to work 20 hours a week over there. This is a 20 hours a week, but main 40 hours or whatever is your main employer, you can work the main employer.
Okay, this is the end of our live session. So before we finish, can do you want to say anything about all the updates or your final speech, please?
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks everyone. Sorry about this because I mean advertised that we will do program 6 to 7 because of fasting month. We had to actually brought it forward. And also I've got some other program on TV today, so I have to attend the program. That's why we made it cut it short. But as I said, please follow our Facebook page. Mr. Ifti always update whenever it comes any new things. Follow the YouTube channel. You'll hear so many things. I
Okay, so before we finish our live, I want to say something like our next episode will come with our new episode with the new topics
yeah,
and lots of
remember about 3-4 months ago there was a news that India would be banned, Bangladesh would be banned, reported something, some country will be banned. This is not the, this is a news, is a hypothetical news, because every news you can check from the Home Office site, not from me. Just type gov.uk, go to the Home Office site. Every day they update. Anything change, they update. That's right. It's been updated about the code of practice 23rd March. Bangladesh is red list. It was the same thing. It just they update every year. So they updated again. Same thing. Bangladesh is in the red list country. But clearly they said red list country for the international recruitment agency. They could not go Bangladesh actively recruit. But if you find a job directly from employer, an employer give you a course, you can come. And lots of people came last year using the same method, not through recruitment agency, and it is on. So don't be get panic. Guidance has not changed. If you go to the Home Office site, it's not written that you, because remember 2012 there was a rule. Before 2012 you have to have a 1 year course completion, otherwise you cannot switch. After 2012 the rule was you have to have a graduated in the UK, otherwise you cannot switch. 2020 this rule came, as long as you are a student you can switch. So rule is student you can switch. It's obvious Home Office might ask some question based on the circumstances, such as you just come to the UK and you try to switch to the work permit. They raise a question, why? Because your intention is not right. So then you have to answer why you are doing this. So, but rule is, as long as you're a student, you can switch. This rule hasn't changed until yet. It could be changed, but it's not changed yet. And you can check in the Home Office website as well.
সো আমি একটু বাংলায় বলে ফেলি যে আপনারা অনেকে আসলে একটা স্ক্রিনশট দেখে একটা নিউজ দেখে অন্য জায়গায় আপনারা আসলে বিভ্রান্ত হবেন না। আপনারা পুরো নিউজটা পড়বেন, স্পেশালি যারা বাংলাদেশ থেকে এইগুলা নিউজ দেখেন, খুব তাড়াতাড়ি প্যানিক হয়ে যান এবং আপনারা জানেন যে আমাদের যেগুলো গুজব যেটা আমরা বলি, গুজব খুব তাড়াতাড়ি ছড়ায়। সো আপনাদের গুজব শুনে আপনারা বিভ্রান্ত হবেন না। আপনারা সবসময় সঠিক মানুষের কাছ থেকে সঠিক তথ্যগুলা চেয়ে নিবেন। So this is the end of our episode 2.
I would like to thanks again Mr. Ahmed. He said this is the best company to work with, and thanks Ahmed. Yes, Mr. Ahmed, pass your recommendation to others. And most importantly, I think if you go to our Google review, you can see the 5-star review, and I really get pleased when I see my client gets good service from us, and they review us. So if you like our service, if you like our things, please review us as well, and also ask a question. How before the next program, send a question to our page and Mr. Ifti, and then we can answer the next session, and we'll give more time in the next session as well. And in the meantime, if anything comes up new, which we believe they need to share, we'll share. And you can see our Facebook page, you can see the YouTube channel as well.
So thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Lutfur, for before we start our live with Lutfur, we said we are come up with so many new topics, so many new information. We are trying our best. So this is the episode 2. Our next episode 3.
One more thing, Mr. Ifti, I haven't actually discussed whole eligible occupation code, such as lots of code are there. We have not discussed lots of IT code, lots of marketing code. There are lots of code there. Next program we'll discuss more as well about what other position you could come, lots of skills. But most importantly, let's get a skill. Whoever is listening from Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, wherever, please get your skill one. Please do it, and inshallah see you next fortnight, and Mr. Ifti will give an exact time or when it be, and we'll do next see you next week, next fortnight. Thank you.
Okay. So we got so many other questions we are not able to answer. So we'll keep this, the questions from our next episode. We'll try to answer all the questions. Thank you so much for being with us. And every, the new live, new episode will come up with the new topics, new questions, and the new surprises. So please keep us on your eyes on all our social media, and thank you for your time. And thank you, Mr. Luftu, for your you're extremely busy today. You have so many events, so many you have a tight schedule, but you are still able to join our the live is a live with Luftu. Thank you so much for your times. So, okay, this is the end of our Live with Lutfur episode 2. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks.